Thanks for stopping by. So I wanted to take a minute today and talk about something really, really important. I want to talk about how your body image can be affected by other people's opinions. I think this is a really important topic because I know that I am not alone in this. It happens all the time where people share inappropriate opinions about the way you look, about who you are, and it kind of has a tendency to affect your idea of yourself, and it has a tendency to practically ruin your whole day because you're so tied up in what this person thought and what they said to you. Now, I think that body image is never a stagnant thing. Like, it's never a constant thing. It's never a consistent thing. Your body image can change from day to day. It could change from one minute to the next. It could change, you know, depending on certain situations that you find yourself in. So to be a confident individual who has a really healthy body image and who, you know, you believe you're beautiful, you believe that you're worthy, you believe all these things about yourself, it's a tricky thing because you are always having situations where it can affect your body image. Next time I want to talk about the second part of body image, and that really has to do with your idea of yourself and the way that you see yourself in the world. But today I want to talk about how other people can affect your idea of yourself. So I want to share with you something that happened to me recently, and it was actually really good and really bad at the same time. So you guys know that I work for a hotel in downtown San Francisco. There are a lot of people from all over the world, from different cultures, from different backgrounds, that come and stay at the hotel that I work for. And I'm at the front desk, so I have a lot of direct interaction with all of these people from these different parts of the world. So there was an older gentleman from Singapore that was staying with us. I had checked him in. He was here visiting with his wife, and he was telling me a little bit of his story when he was checking in. He was telling me that he's dedicated his life to traveling, and that he works for a very prominent airline, and that, you know, when he gets time off, he travels, and when he's working, he travels. And I thought that that was a really cool idea because I generally don't get to travel that much. I've traveled a little bit, but not to the extent that a lot of people do, and definitely not to the extent that this gentleman travels. So I was telling him how cool I thought that was, and throughout his stay he would come down and say hi and, you know, make conversation. And at the end of his stay, he was just about to check out the following day. He came down to the desk and asked to, like, settle up his bill and everything. And at that time we were making conversation, and he was saying, you should follow me on Facebook because you can see my travels and you can see everything. And his wife was there, so it wasn't weird. It wasn't like he was hitting on me or anything. He was just saying, you know, follow my travels, you know, see where I go. It'll be awesome. So I was like, yeah, sure. So look me up on Facebook. I gave him my name, and he's, you know, on his phone looking me up, and, you know, he stops and he looks at the picture, and then he looks back at me, and then he looks back at my picture, and I'm like, oh, did you find me? And he said, well, I think so. But you've really put on some weight, haven't you? And I honestly didn't know how to react when this guy said that to me. I was furious. I was in shock. I was, like, totally debilitated. Like, I couldn't even think of a word to say. And he was like, oh, of course, yeah, well, I didn't mean. And I was just like, oh my God. I mean, to be totally honest, number one, you're not going to put a bad picture of yourself as your profile picture. You know, you want to put your profile picture, it's going to be like the most flattering, most beautiful picture of yourself. And, you know, it's going to be like the best photo angle and the best lighting and everything. You know, you're not going to put a bad picture of yourself as your profile picture. So maybe in this particular profile picture, I looked really slim. And that's great. That's the image I'm trying to portray to people. I was like, he added me as a friend, and I immediately ran into the back office and I told every coworker I could find this story, and I felt so shattered. I felt like I had worked so hard at losing weight, and it hadn't shown through. From the time that I took my profile picture on Facebook was probably like a year ago or so, and from that time to this time now, I have lost weight, and I feel better about myself, and I feel confident, and I feel healthy, and I feel more comfortable in my body. And to have some random stranger tell me that I looked different from my picture and that I looked heavier than my picture, it had a real impact on me. So I was running around the office telling everyone I could find about this jerk that just told me I was fat. I was running around in a hysterical mode. I couldn't calm myself down. I went from feeling really beautiful and confident all day to all of a sudden feeling like a hideous beast and feeling like I was as big as a house. If you can relate to that, I mean, please just raise your hand, because I can't tell you how many times someone has totally ruined my body image or my self-confidence based off of the stupid comment that they've made. So later that day, I came home from work, I was in the shower, and I was scrubbing my hair, and I was like thinking about all the things I wish I would have said to him. And I was like, oh, stupid old man, you know, who do you think you are? You know, and just going in my head, all these terrible things that I wish I would have said to this man. You know, I'm that type of person that I can never come up with a comeback at that moment because I'm just in shock. And so for days and days and weeks, I'll think about the things that I wish I would have said. And in this case, it was no different. I was in the shower, furious, raging. I was at the point where I just wanted to go back to the hotel and like knock on the guy's door and be like, who do you think you are? But I didn't, you know. I got out of the shower, came out, I was hanging out with Ren, watching some TV, and then we went to bed. I was still thinking about it, going over it in my head. Went to work the next day. The guy had already checked out and left. I had already blocked him from Facebook because he had wanted to be my friend, and I didn't accept the invitation, and I blocked him on Facebook because I was so mad at him, and I thought that if I blocked him, I'd be sending him a message. So I'm at work the next day, and there's a whole new set of colleagues there, so I'm telling each of them the story over and over again, and I'm like, can you believe this guy? And everyone's like, you look great, stop it, you know, you look great. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm sure I'm not alone in this, that other people's opinions can make you feel better, or they can make you feel worse. So if someone says, oh, you look great, what have you been doing? Or if someone says, you look beautiful, that has a tendency to raise my confidence. And if someone tells me, oh, you look like you've put on weight, or you look heavier than normal, or, you know, you look tired today, you know, those type of things have a tendency to bring my confidence down. So what I realized after about 3 or 4 hours into my shift the next day, and I was telling all my coworkers all the things that the guy said and how mad I was at him. So I just had this aha moment. I just stopped. And I realized that no one should be able to sway my opinion about myself. And I know that's really hard to do. It's really hard to get to that level where you will not let someone's opinion break your confidence or break who you think you are. It's the kind of thing that you have to work really, really hard at. And luckily, I had been through therapy, and I had worked really hard for a couple years on my body image. And so I had this education and I had this experience in the background. And I still fumed about this guy's opinion of me for like a day and a half. And it ruined my opinion of myself for a day and a half. And then I finally snapped out of it, and I realized that, oh my God, why am I letting some stranger's opinion change who I think I am? Because the only thing that really matters is who I think I am. And I worked really hard to get to the point where I could say that I was beautiful, that I was worthy. I got to the point where I could actually say that I loved my exterior. I had always been the type of person that said, oh, I love my personality. I have a really good personality, but you know, the outside I need to work on, you know. And it took me a long time to get to that point where I was finally confident and finally believed in my beauty. You guys know that Geneen Roth is like my hero, and I've read most of her books, and I follow her on Facebook, and I get her newsletters, and mainly I do all that because I feel like her word is so powerful. If you don't know, Geneen Roth is an author that she has lost over 1,000 pounds. Well, she's gained and lost over 1,000 pounds in her lifetime, which is just crazy. I mean, she's had so much struggles when it comes to her body and eating and emotional eating and binging, and she's been anorexic and bulimic. So Geneen Roth has a lot of experience. She has a lot of knowledge, and she wants to help people. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about that I had read, I had seen this image. The image here says, freedom is in realizing that my happiness or well-being isn't up to someone else. Freedom is in realizing that my happiness or well-being isn't up to someone else. And I just thought that was so powerful, so amazing, because we can be free of all of those opinions that people have of us, you know, because it has no control over who we think we are. And if we have a confidence that is steadfast and strong, then no one can break it. No one can change your opinion of yourself. So next time that someone says something to you that's totally inappropriate and makes you feel really bad about yourself and really hurts your feelings, just remember that you're not alone, and that we all experience this kind of stuff. And just know that their opinion does not mean anything. It doesn't change who you are. If you were feeling beautiful and confident right before that person said that to you, it should not hold any weight, because who you are and your exterior, it's all defined by you. You have the control and you have the power. All right, I will talk to you very soon. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Hope you have a good one.